Hello everyone. Welcome to animated video note series of all the commerce subjects created and owned by Manaswi Mehta, founder of businesslikeNotes.com. For all the exam related notes and chapter highlights, you can visit our website businesslikeNotes.com. So, let's begin. Sole proprietorship, the simplest form of business organization. Let us understand its meaning, merits, demerits, and its features. Do you often go in the evenings to buy registers, pens, chart papers, etc. from a small neighborhood stationery store? Well, in all probability, in the course of your transaction, you had interacted with a sole proprietor. Let's take another example when your parents go to buy fruits and vegetables, or when you go with your friends to buy ice cream. Most of the fruit and vegetable vendors and ice cream vendors are sole proprietors. Sole proprietor, as the name suggests, the word sole implies only and proprietor refers to the owner. Hence, a sole proprietor is the one who is the only owner of a business. Well, in technical term, we can say a sole proprietorship is a form of business organization which is owned, managed and controlled by an individual who is the recipient for all profits and bearer of all risks. It is most suitable form for small businesses, especially in their initial year of operation. Say, a small scale activity like running a retail shop in a locality. This form of business is particularly common in area of personalized services such as hair salons, beauty parlors, nail spa or a tutor taking tutoring services. Did you know that even CocaCola owes its origin to a sole proprietor, which means that a giant company like CocaCola was started by just one person? How? Let's understand. In Atlanta, Georgia, the world's best known taste drink was born. On May 8, 1886, Dr. John Stith Pemberton, a local pharmacist, produced the syrup for Coca-Cola and carried a jug of the new product down the street to Jacob's pharmacy, where it was sampled and pronounced excellent. It was placed on sale for 5 cents a glass as a soda fountain drink. Dr. Pemberton never realized the potential of the beverage he created. He gradually sold portion of his business to various partners and just prior to his death in 1888 sold his remaining interest in Coca-Cola to S.R.G. Candler, an Atlantean with great business acumen. Mr. Candler proceeded to buy additional business right and acquire complete control for Coca-Cola. On May 1, 1889, Asa Candler published a full-page advertisement in the Atlanta Journal proclaiming his wholesale and retail drug business as sole proprietors for Coca-Cola. Delicious, refreshing, exhilarating and invigorating. Sole ownership, which Mr. Candler did not actually achieve until 1891, needed an investment of $2,300. It was only in 1892 that Mr. Candler formed a company called the Coca-Cola Corporation. Let us now understand the salient characteristics or features of a sole proprietorship form of organization. First, formation and closure. It is very easy to form and close sole proprietorship business, since there is no separate law that governs sole proprietorship. There are hardly any legal formalities required to start a sole proprietary business, though in some cases one may require a license. Say, if you want to open your own CA firm, then you will require a COP, that is Certificate of Practice. Closure of the business can also be done very easily. Thus, there is ease in formation as well as closure of business. Liability. Sole proprietor has unlimited liability. What does it mean? This implies that the owner is personally responsible for payment of debts in case the assets of the business are not sufficient to meet all the debts. As such, the owner's personal possessions, such as his or her personal car or other assets, could be sold for repaying the business debt. Let's take an example of Mr. Rahul, whose total outside liabilities is rupees 80,000 at the time of dissolution. But its business assets are only 60,000. So, in such a case, Mr. Rahul will have to bring in rupees 20,000 from his personal sources, even if he has to sell his personal property to repay the firm's debt. No separate entity. In the eyes of the law, there is no distinction made between the sole proprietor and his business, as his business does not have an legal entity or identity separate from the owner. The owner is therefore held responsible for all the activities of the business. Lack of business continuity. What will happen if one day the owner or the sole proprietor dies or is sick or goes bankrupt? The sole proprietorship business then, as it is owned and controlled by only one person. Therefore, the death, insanity, imprisonment, physical ailment, or bankruptcy of the sole proprietor will have a direct or detrimental effect on the business and may even cause closure of the business. The next feature is sole risk bearer and profit recipient. The risk of failure of business is borne all alone by the sole proprietor. However, if the business is successful, the proprietor enjoys all the benefits. He receives all the business profits, which become a direct reward for his risk bearing. The last feature is control. The right to run the business and make all decisions lies absolutely with the sole proprietor. He can carry out his business plans without any interference from others, as he is the only owner of the business. Sole proprietorship offers many advantages. Some of the important ones are quick decision making. A sole proprietor enjoys considerable degree of freedom in making business decisions, since there is no interference from anyone. Further, the decision making is prompt because there is no need to consult others. This may lead to timely capitalization of market opportunities as and when they arise. The second advantage is confidentiality of information. Sole decision-making authority enables the proprietor to keep all the information related to business operations confidential and maintain secrecy. A sole trader is not bound by law to publish firm's account up to certain revenue. The next advantage is direct incentive. A sole proprietor directly reaps the benefit of his or her efforts as he or she is the sole recipient of all the profits. The need to share profits does not arise as he or she is the single owner. This provides maximum incentive to the sole trader to work hard. The next advantage is the sense of accomplishment. There is a personal satisfaction involved in working for oneself. The knowledge that one is responsible for the success of the business not only contributes to self-satisfaction but also instills in the individual a sense of accomplishment and confidence in one's abilities. The next advantage is ease of formation and closure. An important merit of sole proprietorship is the possibility of entering into business with minimal legal formalities. There is no separate law that governs sole proprietorship, as sole proprietorship is the least regulated form of business. It is very easy to start and close the business as per the wish of the owner. Notwithstanding various advantages, the sole proprietorship form of organization is not free from limitation. Let us discuss some of the demerits of sole proprietorship form of business organization. The first is limited resources. Resources of a sole proprietor are limited to his or her personal savings and borrowings from others. Bank and other lending institutions may hesitate to extend a long-term loan to a sole proprietor. Lack of resources is one of the major reasons why the size of the business rarely grows much and generally remains small. The second disadvantage is limited life of a business concern. The sole proprietorship business is owned and controlled by one person, so death, insanity, imprisonment, physical ailment, or bankruptcy of a proprietor affects the business and can lead to its closure. Unlimited liability. A major disadvantage of sole proprietorship is that the owner has unlimited liability. If the business fails, the creditor can recover their dues not merely from the business assets but also from the personal assets of the proprietor. A poor decision or an unfavorable circumstance can create serious financial burden on the owner. That is why a sole proprietor is less inclined to take risks in the form of innovation or expansion. The next demerit is limited managerial ability. The owner has to assume the responsibility of varied managerial tasks such as purchasing, selling, financing, marketing, etc. And it is very rare to find an individual who excels in all these areas. Thus, decision making may not be balanced in all the cases. And due to limited resources, sole proprietor may not be able to employ and retain talented and ambitious employees. So, if the sole proprietor is not able to handle all the managerial tasks, it will severely impact his sole proprietorship business. Let's do a quick recap and summarize the concept of sole proprietorship through an example. Mr. Amit has opened his own jewelry store and he wants us to make him understand what are the challenges and merits he will be facing while running his sole proprietorship business. First of all, there are no legal formalities which will lead to ease in formation and closure of his business. However, he has to finance his business on its own or can borrow money from his friends and family. Thus, there will be limited funds and resources. He will enjoy the complete control of his business as there will be no interference from others, which will lead to quick decision making. If he runs the business successfully, he will enjoy all the profits earned through the business all by himself. However, If his business fails, he will be the sole risk and loss bearer. He will also have unlimited liabilities, which will make him personally responsible to repay the firm's liabilities and debts, as there is no separate legal entity concept in sole proprietorship. There is also a lack of business continuity, which means who will run his business in case Mr. Amit dies or gets severely ill or goes bankrupt. So, to conclude, we can say though sole proprietorship suffers from various shortcomings like limited resources, limited life of a business concern, limited managerial abilities, and unlimited liabilities, still, there are many entrepreneurs who opt for this form of business organization because of its inherent advantages such as quick decision making, confidentiality of information, direct incentive, sense of accomplishment, and ease of formation and closure. Sole proprietorship form of business organization is best suited for businesses which are carried out on a small scale and where customers demand personalized services due to its features like ease of formation and closure, unlimited liability, sole risk bearer and profit recipient, control, no separate entity, and lack of business continuity. Thank you everyone for watching our video. If you are interested in online classes or career related guidance in commerce, you can write us on businesslikenotes@gmail.com. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thank you.